Hi, I'm Mal from the Money Study, bringing you another episode of our Take 10 Challenge, number 74. And this is all about young children and money. And of course, there's my disclaimer, facts and figures, information only. This is not advice. Now, how many parents actually talk to their children, especially the young ones, about money? We keep on saying, oh, we need to protect them about from the things that go on in life, and we've got to keep things simple. It's too hard, too complex a topic for them to understand. And I think that this sort of thinking is pretty prehistoric and really doesn't help our children grow up with a healthy, sensible understanding of what money is all about. The sooner we talk about money openly with our children, the sooner it doesn't become this taboo subject. And so their conversations can be had without feelings of, oh, this is a bit of a difficult thing to be talking about. It shouldn't be a difficult topic to talk about with your children. And the sooner we start, again, the earlier we start with our children, the easier it's going to be. And so, it doesn't have to be complicated. We don't need to talk about the economic woes of the world, that's for sure. But it is a case of getting to understand literally what money indeed is all about, how it works. And so we can talk about, mum and dad go to work and we basically, we earn money when we go to work. We get paid for doing it. That concept of why they disappear every day is actually can actually be beneficial. The fact that we're not just leaving them for the sake of leaving them, we're going to there to earn some money. We get paid, so therefore, and that money is then used to go to the supermarket. And of course, things like the supermarket. What an excellent way to start explaining money. That there's all these things in the supermarket. They all come from somewhere. They don't just appear in the supermarket. They've come from somewhere. They've been made. People go to work to make these things. They get paid to do these things. These are just concepts which effectively, bit by bit, we can help our younger children understand just the way the world works. But I think it's a case of really getting them to understand that the money doesn't just come from out of thin air. I think there's a lot of children have this impression that there is no sort of anything behind the money, that you want money, you get it. You go to the ATM machine and you just press a few buttons and out pops this money that we can then walk into the shop and buy something with it. What was the concept behind the fact that there's this machine in the wall that we can press a few buttons? It's got to be explained to them that this is your money, that it's coming from your bank. The money you earned was put into a bank and they put it into these machines so that we can then get it, so we can spend it to do the things that we need to do with it. Otherwise, the kids can get this impression that, it doesn't matter what mum and dad earns because they can just go to the wall and get money out. It's not a magic machine. And of course, the same thing with a credit card. These days, probably even the ATMs are becoming a bit of a, we're not tending to do that as much anymore because of cash starting to be weaned off us. But certainly with a credit card or, some form of a plastic, they just see us tap our card. We open up our wallet, pull out a purse and pull out a bit of plastic and go plonk, 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 plonk. What is behind this piece of plastic? It's basically a transaction. Why are we tapping our bit of plastic on there? The concepts don't have to be difficult. We don't have to get right down to the nitty gritty, but basically saying that this piece of plastic, it's effectively talking to the people electronically to our bank, and they're releasing some of our money to pay the person who owns the shop for our goods. So it's just a case of explaining. There's a line here, a series of events that our tapping isn't just something we can do unless there's some money in our account. Because you don't want to start talking about how credit works, but it could be just simply say that where this card is basically telling the bank that we're going to take some money and pay the shopkeeper. It's a shame in a way. Well, it is a big shame, I believe, that cash is becoming less and less and less common. We're doing so many things electronically, bank transfers, credit cards and so forth. The kids really are not seeing this cash business. And of course, the old days of paying them some pocket money and having it actually given to them on a Thursday or after payday, getting some money, plonking it into the piggy bank. They can see the piggy bank filling up, and effectively they know then that when the piggy bank's getting full, they can do something with it. Or every week they've got a certain amount of money that they can go down to the shop to buy an ice cream or whatever they decide to buy. It shows that there is a limit, to the expenditure. That once that money is gone, there is no more. That therefore, you've got to wait. It's showing we have to prolong and delay these things we want to buy because we just don't have enough money until next time the money comes in and so forth. And of course, even with that pocket money, making the pocket money associated with some sort of very easy task for a young one, obviously, but something to say, okay, this is how it works in the real world. We do a chore for somebody, they get paid, we use that money to buy things that we want. So it's just really by giving them pocket money, pretty much explaining why mum and dad indeed do go to work. And of course, having coins to count and working out change and all that sort of stuff, how good is that for our adding and subtracting? And but again, we're not doing much of that anymore. But perhaps you really should keep some small change and so forth, small notes, coins and so forth in your personal wallet, for these exact reasons. When the kids want to go and buy an ice cream, we find a few coins and so forth. Mind you, probably need a note or two these days. But it is a case of assisting them to understand how it all works, showing there's money, money is paid. And of course, what's change all about? The fact that the note represents a certain amount of money, and consequently the ice cream wasn't as much as that, and we got a little bit left over. And so all of these things just help us to understand value, and I don't really see a problem in doing that. I don't see why we need to protect them from all of those sort of things. There's nothing insidious or evil about any of that. It's just how the world works. So why don't we do more of it? Why don't we do more of it? Instead of just we literally buying them an ice cream, how about we start the old days of pocket money? I think there's a lot to be said for children having their own money. Now, of course, the big one, and I think this is what really sets them up for life, because a lot of adults don't know the difference. A lot of adults get themselves in all sorts of stress. Understanding the difference between a need and a want. Understanding that we need to have clothes, we need to have food, but having an ice cream, perhaps is not generally food. That it's a want. That going to the movies is a want. Anything that's generally the fun stuff is a want, not a need. And that we have to look at getting our needs first and our wants second. And we get our wants from the spare money. Our needs are paid for from the first money we've got. And so there could be something, that their pocket money has to buy. Literally, we'll get them to understand this difference between needs and wants. And to understand that we just can't turn around and buy everything we want. There is a limited supply of the amount of money we have, and saying no that there is not enough money, or that that's an expensive item that we might need to save for. Could be some very, very good lessons to be taught, rather than either succumbing to the howling. I want it. Being tough is a far better instructor than just folding at the knees and giving in. This whole business of needs and wants carries through life, and the quicker they understand it, and they can't have it all, but if they do a bit of work, hard work, they put their mind to it, they do some saving, they give up other things, understand that they can't have everything, but if they give up something over here, that they might better buy this thing over there, and so it goes on. That's differentiating between those things can really set them up for evermore. And that's what we want. We want our young ones to grow into those children that understand what's going on. We're here to help, and so if you've got any other questions regarding children, happy to help.